Me and my friend, we scheduled a meetup last Sunday, and the idea behind this was we would completely free out our schedules on this day specifically, and we'd have basically this day out called a weekly adventure inspired from a YouTuber called Hamza. Essentially, we have this entire day free and we do something fun, something to build life experience. So this was the first weekly adventure and I was thinking, what can we do? And I came up with the idea of going to this really silly trampoline indoor park for little kids. And I don't know why I thought of that. There were so many other things that we could have done. But for the first weekly adventure, I just thought, why not? Let's just go. So I look at the website, okay, it costs this much, I can get that. We meet up and we start heading there. When we get there, the entire building is fucking built in this way where the entrance is really fucking difficult to find. And I don't know who designed it, but the designer of that building fucking sucks. He should get fired. I don't know who made that, probably some white woman. So we look for the entrance. We go to one side, entrance isn't here. We go to the other side, not there either. It's on the one side that basically has no entrance to go there. The way we were coming from was kind of where the big town center was, where most people would come from to go to that establishment. But the entrance was in this random area where it would be very difficult to find it unless you go through all four corners. It's just weird. Basically, the layout of the building was gay. We finally find the entrance and we head in. And at the counter, there's this fat, obese white woman. And we walk up to her. She doesn't even look up. She's just looking at a computer. Really bad customer service. I mean, the building already looked like shit, so maybe I should have known. We go up to that woman and I say, "Excuse me, we've never been here before. We'd like to sign in." Because I don't know what this place really is about. I just saw trampolines, I saw fun, I saw some food, like a cafe there. I was like, let's go. This white lady, this fat white woman, decides that she can't do her job. So for some odd reason, she needs to stand up and ask her co-workers for something so obvious. We signed in, which is literally what everyone else was doing. It's the basic entry mechanism of this business. I don't know why you wouldn't know how to do it, even if you were a new employee. So now we are waiting for this woman to stop talking with her co-workers, just so we can actually know if we can come in. She sits back down and she asks for our aids. Now, I kind of think for a second, what do I say? If I say I'm like 10 years old, I mean, I don't look 10, I'm 6 foot, I weigh like 85 kilograms, it wouldn't really work well. So that just doesn't work. If I say I'm 18, that would also look really weird because there'd be some adult who's playing with tons of little children on some weird trampoline park. So me and my friend just tell the truth. I'm 15, he's 16. And for some odd reason, this fat lady, I don't know who in her right mind, what in her right mind makes her say this, but she says that we need a guardian to go to this place. And I don't know why. I don't know what the logic behind it is, but we need a guardian in order to play on a trampoline park with little kids who probably couldn't even harm me if they all tried their very best. So I don't know what the fuck was wrong with her. But we couldn't go to this place. We got kicked out because we were too young, despite being teenagers. Of course, I was respectful. I wasn't calling her a fucking white woman. But we got kicked out of this establishment. And then I was kind of confused because I didn't expect that to happen. So now I needed to come up with something new that we could do for the weekly adventure because I had freed up my entire schedule and this can't just be wasted. So then I decide, you know what? Whilst we were walking to this place, we were talking about this thing called geocaching. It's kind of this thing where, you know, Google Maps, right? You get this app called GeoCats or something along that line, and you open the app. It's like this maps app. Some places on the map have landmarks, and if you click on these landmarks, it'll give a little description. Essentially, on each of these landmarks, real people have placed pieces of paper or capsules in certain locations. And essentially, it's like a treasure hunt. You need to go to these locations on the map and you need to look around trying to find where this container is with paper and maybe some sort of reward for doing it. And you write your name on the paper. So I was like, okay, that could be a little fun. Let's do it. We go to this huge park. I've been there once before. I didn't go there again. And this capsule was in this weird place in the park that had like a miniature train place for little children to play on. And there was this, well, multiple no entry signs saying you can't go in here. So I was a little concerned. What if people tried to call the police because we go in here? He would even hide a capsule here. So we basically just go in anyways. And turns out it wasn't actually no entry. It just had tons of signs saying don't go on the railway because trains could go through. But the train wasn't even activated, so the signs were completely useless. I don't know who put them there. We go in. Me and my friends start looking for this capsule. We've never done geocaching before. We don't know what these capsules look like. It just says there's a capsule. The hint for finding the capsule was magnetic and it was micro-sized. And I had no idea what any of that meant because I'm not some peasant. I don't do geocaching often. So we are looking for this for like 30 minutes in this small place and we couldn't find it at all. Now maybe I have bad eyesight, but I swear to God that this was some sort of troll. There's no way I didn't find it after all of this time. There's no way I looked everywhere in this small 10 to 15 meter radius and couldn't find it. That's not possible. So like some other force was at hand because I'm not bad at looking for things. But after a while it started raining. So we are looking for this small capsule. It's raining now. Our clothes are drenched. Our bags are getting wet. We are soggy now. It's annoying. The grass around the area is also muddy now. And I'm kind of annoyed. I'm not letting it get to me, of course. But I am kind of annoyed. I scheduled my entire day. And now it's raining. I mean, I don't know what I expected. This is Scotland, for God's sake. So, of course, it's going to rain. I didn't look at the weather forecast. I probably should have predicted that. So we cancelled this geocaching thing. We couldn't find it. There was some bullshit forces at play that were making it invisible or something. And we decided to go to the local library. That could be fun, you know? The place we were trying to go to initially didn't work. Geocaching, fucking rigged. Let's just go to the library, maybe play some chess there, maybe play with some of the board games, read some books, have some fun. We get to the library. Guess what? It's closed. 3 things in a row completely went south. Got kicked out of the first place, couldn't find the geocaching thing and it started raining heavily. And now the library is closed. It's normally closed on Sundays. I should have expected that. You know, my fault. Oopsie daisies. I'll be more recipient next time. Okay, there is a cafe near here, my friend. I'll call him John from now on. John, how about we go to that cafe? There's a pool table in there. We can have some croissants, some coffee, play some pool. Of course, I'll whoop your ass. We go to the cafe, and it's closed. But you know what? I won't let it get to me. My fault. I should have predicted this. I should have looked at the cafe opening times. Most shops are closed on Sundays. It's fine. So now everything is kind of fucked, to be honest. Everything has went south. So we decide, you know what? We brought our tennis rackets with us. There's no point in just holding it for no reason. Let's go play tennis. Because at this point the rain was a little lighter. Even though it's rainy and annoying, we could probably play tennis in this weather. So we start heading to the bus stop because we need to take a bus to go and play tennis at the courts. And whilst we are heading there, these two girls around our age approach us. And I'm quite receptive. I'm quite curious as to what they have to say. And then they start talking about some Ludo doll or something. I'll put up an image of it. My friend somehow knows them. Apparently, some Japanese doll. People believe there are demons in them because they look creepy. So, some hoax propaganda. It looks weird. The girls are like saying, do you know what they are? Do you like them? She's asking if I think they are cute. Of course fucking not. Weird doll. She twists the head of one of them. I don't know if they are part of some ritual based cult or something. And then they try and they basically grab their phone and put it on this ledge to try and make a video, asking me to be in a video, me and my friend, to be in a video with them with that doll. And I refuse because of course I say, I'd be embarrassed if I was seen with that doll because it looks fucking stupid and demonic and fun. It's bullshit. Now, of course, I'm a little bit more respectful. I don't swear at random people in public. But I do say no thanks. I'd be a little embarrassed if I was seen by that. And they're like, please, come on. And I refuse. I don't want to join that thing. The bus comes, we get on the bus, and you know, something happened on the bus. It's quite weird because this channel, it's kind of a social skills channel. I kind of tell people methods in order to be social and talk to new people and learn all of these things because I think being able to speak to anyone at any time and make new friends is a very important and crucial skill in life. And during this entire trip, I kind of didn't tell you about this part. I didn't think it was very important, but I was like saying hello to people who I've never met before. Me and my friend kind of made a challenge where we'd have to say hello to every single person that we walk past, and it was quite fun. But during that conversation with those two girls, you know, ironically, I didn't even enjoy talking to them. It was kind of weird. They were talking about some bullshit doll that I didn't care about. And one of my rules is simply to do what you want. You can simply tell someone, I don't want to talk to you, and leave. It sounds rude, but you can do that. And I was telling my friend about this on the bus, how the conversation wasn't even enjoyable, and I don't know why I entertained it when I literally say specifically not to do that. And it's something that I also need to work on. And he told me, well, yeah, technically, you could have just said, sorry, I'm not interested in talking about this. We need to get on the bus and play some tennis quickly. Maybe we'll see you again. And I realized something. I could have just said that. I literally could have just said that, and I wouldn't have had to talk to them and entertain a conversation. And most likely, their respect for me would have went up in some weird way where I don't want to talk to them, and I tell them that, and their respect literally goes up. Isn't that a weird thing? If you do what you want, people literally like you and respect you more. So that's just something I kind of realized. I thought when you're doing what you want, sometimes you need to make sacrifices and be rude. But you can do it in a way that is respectful and people like you because of it. So that's something to know. Anyways, on this bus, ironically, in the middle of a conversation, I actually kind of look around my surroundings because whilst you're talking to a friend and you're in a deep conversation, you may have noticed this, but you kind of get encapsulated, absorbed in what you're talking about, and you don't really pay attention to anyone else. But I actually try and look around, see who's there, and I see some girls sat at the very front of the bus. Ginger hair, and she looks around my age. I don't know, all of these fucking 14-year-olds are taking estrogenics and random bullshit that makes them develop way earlier than they actually should be. So they go through puberty early and look older than they actually are. My friend has had, not this friend, not John, but my other friend has had multiple occurrences where he's approached a girl who he thinks is 18, but they are actually 14. And he's fucked, and he's like, oh no, I need to get away from this. So I see this girl, and I kind of want to approach her. You know, this is a social skills channel, it's kind of my duty. She is relatively attractive. I should approach her. But I don't. At that point in time, as much as I hate to admit it, especially to YouTube, where for all I know, in the future, like thousands of people could see this. But I'll admit it, I was too nervous to go up and talk to her. And why was I too nervous? I analysed it. So maybe you can use this for your future interactions. I didn't go up to her because I was essentially going from not really approaching many girls. I was mainly just approaching anyone, but not really cold approaching girls in a sexual or intimate manner, to being in this very difficult situation where I'm in the seat in the bus with my friend on the outside seat. So if I wanted to even stand up and go up to her, well, I'd need to say, move, John, get out of here. And I'd need to stand up and get out of my chair on a moving bus and go up and talk to her whilst everyone else is watching on the bus, because everyone is facing forward to where this is and her chair is kind of facing backwards. It's weird, that's how buses are in the UK. So I need to go up on a moving bus, talk to her whilst everyone is watching, and risk rejection whilst everyone would be looking directly at me, staring daggers, and not even knowing if this person is actually my age. So I basically went from not really approaching many girls my age, and not even really intimately, even if I did, to now going up to this girl intimately, which is already quite a difficult thing, in this very precarious situation where it's very difficult to do so. Point is, don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't try and approach somebody or do something when you aren't prepared for it, because you'll just fall flat on your face and you won't be able to do it, and then you'll beat yourself up and get in this negative feedback loop where you're mad you didn't do it, but you just weren't prepared to begin with. So I'm not really beating myself up because of this, because, well, yeah, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't really practicing my cold approach skills. I wasn't really approaching many girls my age. I don't really meet them because I really just go to the gym, besides of course outside of weekly adventures. But we get off of the bus. I'm kind of a little butthurt, like, I sort of talked to her, but it's fine. It starts heavy raining again. So we can't play tennis because it's too wet and our equipment will get soaked and we'll get soaked and it'll be uncomfortable. So now I'm kind of annoyed now. Everything has went south. The rain is trying to bullshit me and I don't know what to do. My friend, John, he suggests that we go to this shop. It's called Morrison's in the UK. It's kind of the main supermarket. So you know how Americans have the national supermarket called Target? Well, British people have Morrison's. So he suggests going to this shop called Morrison's. There's a cafe inside of Morrison's most of the time. So we head to the cafe. It's out of order. The cafe is closed. So there's no one selling stuff at the cafe. You aren't allowed to go inside of the cafe. And at this point, I kind of feel like God is just trolling me. Like God is just putting all of these negative scenarios above me just to troll me and see how I'd react. I just sneak into the cafe. It's fine. I sneak into the cafe. There are some chairs at the very back, kind of on each other. We just put some up and put them down and adjust them so we can sit. And we kind of just start talking a little bit. And I'm trying to think of fun things that we can do because this entire day kind of has been a waste. I'm trying to think, okay, what can we do? Nothing. No, I actually get the idea to play Truth or Dare. Somehow John doesn't know what the fuck Truth or Dare is, so he's some weirdo. So I need to explain to him what Truth or Dare is. And after that, I ask him, he says Truth. And then I realize I actually don't have anything I want to ask him. Because Truth and Dare is a very gay game. And it is gay, and I'll tell you why. Because Truth and Dare is the type of game where if you play it with friends, you already know everything that you need to know about them. And if there's something that you don't know about them and they aren't telling you, playing a game and asking them truth isn't going to make them suddenly reveal that because there's probably a reason why they aren't telling you. So it's all bullshit. Truth and Dare is gay because the only time you really play it is when you're with people who you don't even know very well. And you're trying to get to know them. And you're kind of trying to get more intimate with the cross. And you're like, oh, Truth, who do you like in this group, Bailey? Bro, you're gay. Why would you ask a girl who she likes in the group? That's weird. So Truth and Dare is gay. And as for the dares, rather than doing a dare, why don't you just make it a challenge for both of you to do? Why make it an unfun dare which feels forced? The entire game is fundamentally flawed. So I'm never playing Truth or Dare again. Truth and Dare is boring. It's heavily raining, so we can't even play tennis right now or really go outside without umbrellas. But the supermarket kind of has this roof. You know how, well, of course supermarkets have roofs, but I mean, if you go outside of the supermarket, around like maybe 1 to 2 meters of it will have this mini roof, kind of like the gas station roofs that you normally see. And we are thinking of going under that roof and just passing the ball with tennis rackets, not in tennis style because we'd probably kill someone by accident, but just passing it slowly. Turns out that's a bad idea. Because this roof that's 1 to 2 meters wide has tons of people going through, so we need to be very deliberate with where we aim the ball or it'll hit one of the people on the head and will fucking die because it's that strong. Or if one of us were to misfire the ball would go out in the rain and one of us would need to suffer and trench through all of the rain to try and grab the ball, and we'd be drenched when we came back and there'd be tons of traffic and people honking their horns at us like, get out of the way, kid. And my friend almost got hit by a car, so yeah, it was a pretty bad idea. Some lady, probably someone who worked there who was watching us, she came up and she said something along the lines of, if you go to the other side of the store, you can still be under the roof, but there won't be as many passengers, so you can pass and it'll be fine. And I'm like, thank God, because John was fucking shit at passing because he kept overshooting it over my head and I couldn't even reach it. Which is saying something because I'm 6 foot and I also have the extended range of my hand being straight up and a tennis racket. How hard is it to aim? So I'm like, whew, man, that could have been bad. Thank God that lady saved us. I mean, if you oversaw it again, you probably would have hit someone. So we go to the other side. We're excited. Yes, you know, we can finally pass. We can do something. No, it's not tennis, but it's funner than nothing. We are kind of bouncy. We are happy. We finally get to go to this place. We are perambulating there. But it's sewage. It's sewage water. So, in this place where we were told we can pass, if we were to accidentally misshoot the ball, it'd land in sewage water and it wouldn't even be usable. I don't blame the lady. She probably doesn't know the ins and outs of the entire store. But I kind of felt like God was just looming over me. And it's like, Prince, you think you're gonna have fun? Look at this little kid. Imagine. Nah, I'm going to fuck up your day. So, it's kind of funny to be honest. But now we are kind of thinking, there's nothing we can do. It's raining. Everything else went south. I don't want to risk my ball to fall into the sewage water. What can we do? The rain is lighter. It's gone soft. So we can finally go out and play tennis. Yeah, it's still annoying. We still get soaked, but it's not as bad. It's not like piercing rain. So we can go out and play tennis, and you know, it's actually quite fun. I get pretty good at tennis now. I was quite inconsistent with my serving, which is like the first hit. Now I can get them pretty consistently, maybe 40-50%. So getting better at tennis. It was quite fun. An hour in, it got sunny. And I was like, yeah, it's not sunny anymore. And we get to play tennis, and it's fun, and all of this, if you ignore the rest of the day. And even though this day was basically shit, everything went to south, you know, it wasn't the worst. It could have been worse, right? It really could have. So I'm quite happy for the day. I got to get better at tennis. I learned the importance of the golden rule, do what you want. And also, I just had a generally fun time. Even though it was annoying, like talking to my friend, having this free day, I got a story to tell. It was quite fun and entertaining. So I hope this gave you some sort of insight, or maybe it was just entertainment for you. If you want to get better at being social and talking to people, I have a social protocol course in the description below. Essentially gets you from level 0, social autist, you literally can't talk to anyone, to level 2, which is kind of where you can talk to anyone pretty decently. You can make friends, and that's where I want you to get to. So check that out. There's a waiting list currently, it's not out yet. And remember, consistency is over a lifetime. Bye bye.